The night my family finally heard me. When people say silence is peaceful, they've clearly never experienced the kind of silence that filled our house the night everything fell apart. It wasn't calm, it wasn't gentle, it was the kind of silence that comes right before a storm. Sharp, heavy, warning you that something is about to break. And in our case, that something was our family. My name is Lena. I'm 34, married to Kareem, and we have 2 kids, Yusuf, 10, and Aisha, 7. From the outside, we looked like a normal, modern family juggling school, work, and endless responsibilities. But inside, we were dragging years of unspoken frustration, hidden resentment, and exhaustion. The collapse began one Thursday evening. I had just finished cooking, my hair still tied in a messy bun from the workday, when Kareem walked in. He didn't greet us. He didn't look around. He just dropped onto the sofa, scrolling through his phone like we didn't exist. That tiny moment, him ignoring us, felt like the 1,000th cut. "Dinner's ready," I said calmly. "Give me a minute," he muttered. A minute meant 30. I watched Yusuf trying not to look disappointed. Aisha kept poking her rice with her fork. They'd grown used to it, but I couldn't accept that this was our normal family life. After dinner, I walked into the living room and found Kareem laughing at something on his phone. "You couldn't spare that laugh for your kids tonight?" I asked. His eyes narrowed. "What's that supposed to mean?" And just like that, the match touched the fuse. "It means you're not present anymore. You're here, but not with us. You come home and disappear into that phone. You haven't asked the kids about school in weeks. You haven't asked me about anything in months." Kareem stood up. "I work all day. I'm tired. What more do you want from me?" For a moment, I almost backed down. Almost. But then, Yusuf peeked his head from the hallway, concern written all over his face, and something snapped inside me. "I want a partner," I said. "Our children want a father who doesn't feel like a guest, and I refuse to keep pretending everything is fine." He stared at me as if I'd insulted him. "You're overreacting." I laughed softly, bitterly. "Am I? When was the last time you helped with homework, or came to Aisha's recital, or listened when I told you I was overwhelmed?" He didn't answer, because he couldn't. The silence returned, the heavy, suffocating kind, but this time, I refused to drown in it. I walked to the bedroom and closed the door behind me. That night, I wrote a letter, not to leave him, but to wake him. A list of everything I'd been carrying. The kids' schoolwork, house chores, my job, appointments, cooking, emotional labor, keeping peace, organizing birthdays, maintaining the home, and doing it all alone while he drifted further away. I placed the letter on his pillow and fell asleep with my back turned. The morning after, I woke up to the sound of a chair scraping. Kareem was sitting at the edge of the bed, the letter trembling in his hands. His face looked like he'd been awake for hours. "Why didn't you tell me sooner?" he said, voice cracking. I sat up. I tried. Quietly. Politely. Indirectly. "I didn't want to fight. But you never listened." He swallowed hard. "You're right. I didn't. I thought providing financially was enough. I didn't realize you felt alone." I nodded. "I didn't want money. I wanted you." For the first time in years, he actually looked into my eyes. Really looked. "I'm not losing this family," he whispered. "Tell me what to do." 3 months after refusing the promotion, our life had settled into a calm rhythm, not perfect, but steady. And for the first time in years, I felt peaceful. But real life never lets you stay comfortable for long. The next storm came quietly, like most storms do. The first crack. It began when Yusuf's teacher called. "Mrs. Lena, Yusuf has been distracted lately. He forgets homework, loses focus, and last week he pushed a boy during recess. Is everything okay at home?" My heart dropped. I thanked her and hung up, trying to make sense of it. Yusuf was the gentle one. Aisha was the dramatic hurricane. But Yusuf? He once cried because he stepped on an ant. When Karim came home, I told him everything. He frowned. Maybe he's just growing up. Kids change. But something in my mother's instinct whispered, no, this is deeper. That night I sat beside Yusuf on his bed. He was hugging his pillow tightly, pretending to be asleep. Yusuf, I whispered. I know something's bothering you. His small body tensed. I touched his hair. You can tell me. You're not in trouble. His voice cracked. What if Dad leaves again? My breath stopped. What? Why would you think that? He sniffed, eyes shiny. Because you and Dad are always trying so hard now. Like 2 months passed, and life finally felt balanced, something I once believed was impossible. But balance is fragile, and sometimes the universe tests whether you truly deserve what you've rebuilt. The test came on an ordinary Friday evening. Karim and I were sitting on the balcony, watching the sunset while the kids played inside. It felt peaceful, until my phone buzzed. A message from my mother. We need to talk. It's urgent. My stomach tightened. Her urgent messages usually meant family drama, someone complaining, or her hinting that we weren't doing enough to visit her. I loved my mother, but she had a habit of criticizing everything: my parenting, my house, my choices, my marriage. Karim saw my expression. Everything okay? He asked. I forced a smile. Probably another lecture. He leaned closer. Whatever it is, we'll handle it together. That word, together, still felt new and precious. I called my mother. Her voice came sharp without greeting. Lena, your younger sister is staying at my house again. You need to talk to her. She fought with her husband. I sighed. Again? Yes, again. And she says she's coming to stay with you next. She already packed. I nearly choked. What? She didn't even ask me. She says your place is calmer, more stable. She needs space. Stable. Calm. The word stung, because our stability was still so new, so fragile, held together by effort and second chances. Before I could respond, the doorbell rang. I opened the door to find my sister, Sarah, dragging luggage, eyes swollen from crying. I can't stay at Mom's, she said. Please let me stay here, just for a week. Karim came behind me, eyebrows raised, but he stayed silent, letting me choose. I hesitated. Letting her stay meant noise, drama, emotional chaos, the very things we'd worked so hard to escape. But she was my sister, and she was hurting. Come in, I said softly. The storm arrives. By the second day, the house felt different. Tense, distracted, loud. Sarah spent hours ranting about her husband, shouting into her phone, slamming doors, crying loudly enough for the neighbors to hear. The kids grew quiet. Karim tried to give us space, but I could sense the strain in his eyes. On the 4th day, things exploded. I found Sarah in the kitchen yelling into her phone again. You think I need you? She screamed. I can live with my sister. Her life is perfect. Perfect? I froze. Our life was many things. Rebuilt, improving, healing. But perfect? No. And saying that out loud made everything we struggled through sound easy, effortless. When she hung up, she looked at me with wild eyes. He's useless, she muttered. Not like Karim. You're lucky. Lucky. The word echoed painfully. People only saw the surface, never the nights I cried alone, the years of silence, the months of rebuilding. I took a breath. Sarah, you can't compare marriages. You don't know everything we went through. She snorted. Yeah, right. You two always look perfect. Something inside me cracked. Sit down, I said. She blinked. Why? Because you need to hear the truth. We sat at the table, and for the first time in years, I opened up completely. About the loneliness, the fights, the emotional distance, the letter that broke our silence, and how close we came to falling apart. Sarah's face softened. I had no idea. Because marriage isn't something you show. It's something you build, slowly, painfully, together. She stared at her hands. Maybe I didn't even try. I touched her shoulder. It's not too late, but running away won't fix anything. She exhaled shakily. What should I do? Talk to him, honestly, like we did. She nodded, wiping tears. Later that night, she packed her bags. I'm going home, she said quietly. To try. Really try. I hugged her tightly. I'm proud of you. Karim helped carry her suitcase. As she drove away, he turned to me with a tired smile. That was tough, he said. Yeah, I whispered. But necessary. He wrapped his arms around me. You were incredible. So were you, I replied. Thank you for supporting me. He kissed my forehead. We promised to face things together. I meant it. And for the first time in weeks, our home felt peaceful again. Not perfect, but real. And real was enough. Life settled again after Sarah left. The house felt lighter, calmer, almost like it exhaled after holding its breath for days. But peace doesn't mean the story ends. Sometimes the biggest test arrives when you least expect it. And ours arrived on a rainy Wednesday evening. Karim came home earlier than usual, soaked from head to toe. His face was pale, too pale. Are you okay? I asked. He handed me a wet envelope. What is this? A notice, he whispered. My company is downsizing. I'm losing my job. The room spun for a second. Karim? Unemployed? The man who had always been our steady wall? The protector? The one who sacrificed promotions just to stay with us? I guided him to the sofa. Sit down. Breathe. I failed you, he said, voice breaking. No, I said firmly. You didn't fail us. Life is testing us, again. But we will get through it. He buried his face in his hands. I don't know what to do. For the first time since our marriage began to heal, I had to be the strong one. I sat beside him and took his hand. We'll face this the same way we faced everything else. Together. The job hunt storm. The next few weeks were hard. Karim applied to dozens of jobs, but the competition was brutal. He started waking up at dawn, working on applications, polishing his resume, attending interviews. Every rejection left a deeper crack in his confidence. I could see it happening. The way he hesitated before telling me bad news. The way his shoulders slumped a little more each day. The way sadness crept into his smile. One night, after the kids were asleep, he whispered, "Maybe I'm not good enough." That sentence hurt more than anything. I held his face gently. Karim, you rebuilt our family. You fought for us. You changed. That's worth more than any job. His eyes watered. He leaned into my touch. But the heaviness inside him didn't go away. And then, things got worse. The breaking point one evening, Yusuf came home with a note from school. His grades were dropping. He wasn't participating in class. I sat beside him. Yusuf, talk to me. He hesitated, then whispered, I don't want Dad to know. Why? Because he already looks sad. I don't want to make him sadder. My heart broke. Our son was carrying emotional weight no child should ever carry. That night, I told Karim gently. He let out a shaky sigh. Even Yusuf is worried about me. That's because you're important to him, I said softly. To all of us. He looked away. I'm supposed to protect this family. Instead, everyone is protecting me. I took his hand. Let us protect you. Just this time. He didn't answer, just rested his forehead against mine. A shift in the wind. 2 days later, Karim received a call. A job interview. Not just any job. One he truly wanted. His eyes lit up with hope for the first time in weeks. The morning of the interview, he wore his best suit. The kids helped him choose a tie. Aisha hugged his leg and said, Daddy, You're the best. He smiled, really smiled. When he left the house, we all watched from the window, cheering silently. Hours passed. Then the door opened. Karim walked in slowly, expression unreadable. I stood up, heart pounding. How did it go? He stared at me, then burst into a wide grin. I got it. My breath rushed out in relief. The kids jumped and screamed. I hugged him so tightly he laughed. But in that moment, I saw truth in his eyes. This wasn't just a job. It was a lifeline, a second chance, a return to himself. To celebrate, we had a small dinner at home, pizza, cake, and silly music. The kids danced around the living room. Karim laughed more than I had seen in months. Later, when the children finally fell asleep, he pulled me close. I was so scared, he murmured. I know, I whispered. But you didn't give up. He cupped my face with both hands. You saved me. No, I said softly. We saved each other. He kissed my forehead. Promise me something. What? Let's never go back to silence. If something hurts, we talk. If something breaks, we fix it. If life tests us, we face it side by side. I promise, I said. Always. Weeks passed, and stability returned. Not the fragile kind we had before. This time it was stronger, built with truth, effort, and storms we'd survived. One evening, we sat around the dinner table laughing about Aisha's dramatic retelling of her school day. Yusuf was helping Karim with dishes. The house was warm, glowing with a peace I no longer doubted. Karim glanced at me from across the room and smiled the smile of a man who had found his way back, not just to his family, but to himself. And in that moment, I realized something. Our family wasn't perfect. It wasn't easy. It wasn't always peaceful. But it was real. It was strong. And it was ours. The night my family finally heard me didn't break us. It rebuilt us. Brick by painful brick. And every day since, we chose each other again. And again. And again.